Hey folks, good morning. It's a beautiful day, and one of the best things about it, the raised bed is complete, ready to start planting. Now this is one of the first things I'm planting. You can see these little onion pieces, little settings don't seem to be in the best shape, but when I went to buy them, I went everywhere trying to buy them, and I've only found one place that still had any. They had 5 bundles that were in bad shape, and they said, I tell you what, just take all 5 of them for $5 and you can just pick out what's good. So this is what I was able to pick out. So this is what I'll be planting on my sweet Valdelia onions today. Also, I wanted to talk to you about putting the hoops in. Now, you know, I put in the 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC in each corner and 3 other places in the middle on each side, so I can put the hoop in. On the hoops, I'll give you a close-up of this. I did put a little attachment piece here so I could tie whatever covering I put down. Now this is a standard 10-foot piece of Schedule 40 half-inch PVC that you get from any of the big box stores. This is the standard length, 10 feet. I'm going to stick it in this side over here. And I'm just going to bend it over kind of slow because it's kind of cool this morning. I don't want to break the PVC. Now if it's really cold, I guess you could warm it up with a hair dryer to make, because it becomes real flexible then. So that fits just perfectly in there. So all I need is 4 more pieces like that, then I can have all the hoops I need for whatever covering I want to put on to protect the young plants that I have in there. I hope this is clearly visible. This gray part right here is the 1-inch PVC Schedule 40 that I cut off 8 inches long to sink down into the concrete powder before I've added water. And you'll notice that it's vertical, it's straight up and down. I did not tilt it at an angle because I wanted the PVC pipe that's going to make the hoop to be as straight up and down as possible on the sides to give more clearance for the leaves and stuff of the plants on the inside if I needed it. Also, I hope you can see this. This is a little hoop that I stuck in there to hook on to tie whatever cover I put on, whether it be a net in the summertime to provide a little bit of a shade for delicate plants, or whether it's going to be a plastic covering of some type in the wintertime to protect the plants from cold. This loop, all in the world it is the link that you buy at the big box stores that connects the chain link fence to the top rail that goes across. They're already pre-bent. All I did was just stick it down in the dry concrete before I put water on it, and I just delicately put the water on so I didn't get everything washed out. I'll let that set a little bit before I wet it down the rest of the way. So hopefully we'll see how well this works. These are really great. I'm back, and the hole inspector's still here to inspect the holes, but there's no more holes to inspect because we filled them all. Anyway, I've had problems for growing carrots now for 3 different years. I've tried to grow them, and I've never had good luck with the carrots. Matter of fact, I've never even gotten 1 carrot out of it. But a few weeks back, I saw a video by Jess on Roots and Refuge channel. She showed a way of planting the carrot seeds that I thought was really good. She did it completely in a raised bed, which this is our first raised bed, so I've never done it in a raised bed before. But the first thing she did was, after she had the soil prepared, was she wet it down real well. Then she placed a board on top of it and pressed it in so that she could see the imprint. Now you can see I've moved the board back, but when I had the board here in this smooth area, I actually walked on it to get a solid impression on it. And then what she does is she puts a seed down at each spot and presses it in, but never even covers it up, and puts a hole in each spot like this as she goes. And then once she's finished and got all the seeds in, she puts the board back on top and waters down everything again, because everything is wet right now, so that the seeds will have something wet to begin with. Now, something else that she said that I thought was very important was carrot seeds will not germinate if the soil temperature hits 80 degrees. Well, to make sure that, because sometimes we are very sunny, even though this is still early March, some days are very sunny and this board might get warm, I'm going to put some wheat straw on it at the end and wet it down just to make sure. Now, also, it takes about 11 days for germination, And she says once you get up to about 6 or 7 days, begin lifting the board and looking to see if you can see the small little carrot plants, because really carrot tops are very, very small and very delicate when they start. But the seeds are so small, you can't plant them deep at all, but they've got to stay wet at the same time. And I tell you, I really like the idea of doing this board. I'm just going to put a few seeds in my hand at a time because they are very, very small. Hopefully I won't spill them anywhere, but I'm not going to broadcast as some people would do and then come back and thin out. I'm going to get a couple of bricks and put on it. Well, all the carrots are planted, and I tell you what, making those little holes and trying to drop one seed in at a time, you want to make sure you get at least one seed in, and some of these probably had 4 or 5 seeds in. These seeds are so small, and once you've stuck your finger in the soil, it's a little damp and the seeds try to stick. Anyway, it's done. I don't know how many we planted in here, maybe 175 or so carrots, maybe 200, I don't know, we'll see. But now I placed a couple of bricks on the top. The reason is this is just a cheap piece of plywood, just to make sure it stays moist under and the sun can't dry the surface out, because Jess said in her video that if the seeds dry out at all, it kills the germination. So we want to make sure the seeds stay wet. So I want to make sure that the plywood stays close to the dirt, and I think these bricks are going to help keep the plywood flat. And I'll go ahead and I'll put some straw on it and be done with it. I'll start on the other garden. On this one, we've already planted onions. I don't know if you can see this in the video or not. They're kind of scrawny. I had some left over. I just stuck them here just in case 1 or 2 die. I can pull them out and swap out a live one from here for a dead one somewhere else in one of the rows. Also in the corner, we've got, I don't know, about 20 garlic that we planted just from garlic we had at the house. We'll see how that comes up. Just planting a clove of garlic in each spot. Now, we're not a farm. We're just 2 people that enjoy gardening, and we thought we'd like to share our joy of gardening and the things that we do with someone else. Maybe you'll see mistakes that we do and we can say, okay, we learned from this, don't do this, and maybe it'll help you. Or we do something right, we can say, hey, this really worked out real well. So that's the objective, is to share our experiences and our joy of gardening and our desire to eat the fruits that we produce. Now I'm going to water it one more time just to make sure everything is well soaked. But now this has been 2 weeks since we started this raised bed. The reason we've had so many delays is, for example, this week we had 3 straight days of rain, and we got more than 2 inches of rain. And the rain and the weather has just really messed us up. Plus, you know, a few personal obligations. Okay, not going to be able to touch it today or tomorrow because of this or that. So bear with us, and hopefully we'll have a good season and we'll learn something. Well, this is Gardening with the Wades again, and as we progress in our raised bed trials, please follow with us, subscribe if you will, and we'll see you later. God bless.